Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. What an election Delhi has been. Voting has ended to what has perhaps been the most feisty and bitterly fought state election in recent times. In the last 3 weeks, the Congress, the BJP and the incumbent Aam Aadmi Party have been at each other's throats, and the drama continued right up till election eves. The 1.67 crore voters of Delhi have been promised the moon and the sun. Now the voters have spoken. Unfortunately, not very loudly. The voter turnout, which has been going down over the years, has stood at 58% till 5 p.m. Of course, this will be updated. That number will be on your screens as soon as the numbers get updated by the Election Commission of India. Now, in the next 30 minutes or so, exit polls will start putting out their numbers. We will do what we do every time. We don't have an exit poll of our own. So what we will do is give you the poll of polls. And once again, we will put out a caveat. Ladies and gentlemen, I've said this before, I'm saying this again. Exit polls are fun to watch, but have a very bad habit of very often being very wrong. So please take them with a pinch of salt. And please take the numbers that we will be putting on your screens with a pinch of salt as well. Now, watching these polls today, whether you take them seriously or not, very intently, will be the three parties who are part of this high-octane triangular fight. The Aam Aadmi Party, that is fighting anti-incumbency and, more importantly, charges of corruption against it. They swept the last two elections. Can they score a hat-trick? The BJP, on its part, has sensed it has a chance. Perhaps for the first time in the last 10 years. They have matched AAP's freebie for freebie and punch for punch. Question is, can they take Delhi after a 30-year jinx? And the Congress party, that once ruled Delhi for 15 years on the trot, has awakened from its deep slumber and put up its strongest campaign in 10 years. Ladies and gentlemen, before the exit poll numbers start coming in, some basic numbers for you. The fight in Delhi is for 70 seats. 699 candidates were in the fray. The voter base in Delhi is 1.67 crore. A little over 60% have voted, which frankly, if you ask me, is a bit of a shame. But what are the numbers saying? We won't have the numbers till before 6:30 because that is the rule of the Election Commission of India. But Pradeep Gupta of Access India is joining us on the broadcast. Very quickly, Pradeep ji, बड़ा सवाल तो यही है, number क्या है? Do you have the numbers already?
So for numbers, we'll have to wait for more time, and particularly this election is being very, very interesting. Very interesting, I would say. All the demographies are at the play. And all demography voting patterns seems different. When I say demography, it is caste, community, gender, which is big play this time. Female, male voting differently. Income group, again, voting differently. Lower income group, middle class and all that. Slum, colony versus kothis. Then most important in this, particularly Delhi, when it comes to Delhi, occupation is also at play, particularly auto walas, how they are voting, railway patri walas, how they are voting. Then jobs, private job people versus government job people. And then that too, state government and central government employees, how they are voting. So every demography is at play. And above all, the voter turnout, which is going to be very, very decisive this time.
So, sir, again the question, number कब देंगे?
नंबर के लिए थोड़ा इंतजार कीजिए. वैसे भी जो इलेक्शन कमीशन की गाइडलाइन है वो 6:30 के बाद ही होती है, बट दैट इज द इलेक्शन कमीशन गाइडलाइन. बट एट आवर एंड we'll have to see whether in this particular time we will be able to collate all these numbers representing different demography in that particular time period. So even I do not have that answer when I will be able to release the numbers.
Will it happen today? Will it happen tomorrow?
I don't know. That all depend on the, after 2 hours or so, we will see, assess the situation. If we are in a position to give the number, we will release it today. Otherwise, tomorrow for sure. So you can, one can say 50% chance. I do not have the clarity.
Okay. Acha, essentially then you are saying right now as we speak, the election is open for all. कुछ भी हो सकता है.
बिल्कुल, आई एम सेइंग सो, कुछ भी हो सकता है, बट एक चीज मैं कह सकता हूँ, बेस्ड ऑन माय experience in last 15 years, particularly 30 states, 3-time elections happens in last 15 years. So 90 plus 3 Lok Sabha election, only 4 to 5 occasion where a hung assembly was there. Otherwise, people give the decisive mandate whomsoever they give. That much I can tell you. There is no possibility of hung assembly. This much I can tell you at this point.
Okay, Mr. Gupta, we'll wait for your numbers to come out. Thank you very much. My guest this evening, Dr. Tayal, spokesperson of the BJP, welcoming him back. Dr. Nimir Rastogi is spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. Mumtaz Patel is a politician affiliated to the Congress Party. Sanjay Jha is an author with us on the broadcast. And Tushar Gupta is a political analyst joining us on the broadcast as well. Tushar, since you have made the effort to come to the studio, let me start with you. Mr. Gupta is saying, what perhaps a lot of us have felt. Right now, you can't say anything. The exit poll numbers will come out. We'll, of course, put them on our screens. But you just never know. That certainty that the Aam Aadmi Party is popular, that they have won these elections for the last 2 times, their numbers may go down, but they will still come back to power. Abhi kuch keh nahi sakte.
Look, the Aam Aadmi Party had a commendable 54% vote share in 2020. But what everyone missed in 2020 was that BJP was actually the only party to register an uptick in its vote share. Shreya, when I started analyzing the Delhi Assembly, I wasn't looking at all 70 seats to begin with. I was just looking at the 43 seats where BJP's vote share in 2020 was more than 38%. 38%. Because that gives them a fighting chance to get 35 of those 43 seats and possibly form the government. Now, the question is, and on average, the difference between AAP and BJP was 10 percentage points on those seats. Is there enough anger against Arvind Kejriwal and his party for that 10 percentage to flip? Because BJP just needs to crack 5.1 percentage point of that vote. And that is what will give them the government. But again, it's very difficult to ascertain that because as of now, the turnout is questionable, the voter sentiment is questionable. We still have to look at how the urban voters have turned out compared to the rural voters. So a lot of if and buts, a lot of permutations and combinations to be worked out. But one thing for sure, everyone I'm talking to is talking about just one party, and that is the BJP. But I would hold my horses. I would still wait until Saturday if the numbers really make sense, because after Haryana, nothing really makes sense.
No, after Maharashtra as well.
No, but Haryana, the way it flipped.
Haryana was a different story altogether. That's one for the record books. But I mean, that exit polls have got it terribly wrong.
Yes.
We've seen that in Maharashtra as well.
Yes.
I mean, there were exit polls. No, actually, we saw it in Jharkhand. Exit polls got Jharkhand wrong. They got Maharashtra right, though they couldn't predict
the magnitude of the victory.
The magnitude of the victory they couldn't predict.
And Shreya, one interesting point. How well or how badly will the Congress do? Let's say Congress ends up at 8 or 7% of a vote share. Kejriwal ends up at 46, 47%. BJP ends up at 40, 41%. It will still be a sweep for Arvind Kejriwal. It will be a repeat of the Madhya Pradesh vote share pattern. But let's say there's a hung assembly. Let's say if there is one.
It's happened in 2013. It can happen again.
It can happen again.
And you know, here's something interesting. The results in 2013 were out on December 8th. So who knows?
What if we get a December 2013 like verdict again? What if the Congress and AAP are forced to think about their alliance again? Who knows? But if the BJP is coming back, I think they'll come back with a thumping mandate, well, if at all.
Pradeep Gupta seems to suggest hung assembly ka Dr. Dharendra Tayal koi sawal hi nahi uthta. That the decision that Delhi gives will be a decisive decision. Is that what you think as well? Because the BJP is sensing a chance this time.
BJP is not just sensing a chance. We completely agree with Mr. Pradeep Gupta. We are going to get a thumping majority. And I would not want to say that just as a piece of rhetoric, what I'm supposed to say. You know, let me back it up a little bit. I came across this, this survey But before coming to the results of that survey also, one thing, 45% of Delhi is middle class. And what I'm seeing on your screen, the percentages in places like Jampura, Kalkaji, which are heavily middle class or upper middle class, the numbers are good, which used to be very, very bad earlier. This is what I'm seeing live on the screen. So these things are going to make a lot of difference. The other thing is that, earlier we were having the MCD. So everything that was wrong with Delhi, the entire garbage of Delhi used to be dumped in front of the MCD, or so to say, in front of us. But today, that comfort is not there. Credibility is down to zero. Nobody believes Kejriwal anymore on anything at all. So whatever he says, I will give you this or that, nobody is believing it. Whereas Mr. Modi has delivered, and he's delivered magnificently. More so in this budget, he has delivered hugely. So the credibility is enormously high, which is also a factor which is going to swing. Now, 38% is actually, if you go across the polls, you would find 38% is a steady BJP vote share. And if I try to arrive at something, because AAP fluctuates very hugely, if I try to arrive at something, okay, what did AAP get in the last two Lok Sabha polls? They are close to about 41%, which one may say could be a sort of a steady vote base. So what we are really talking about is a shift of just a percent or so. So the moment 1% shifts, everything is changing hugely. So the interesting one which I was talking about, this is by C Voter. C Voter has done a survey where they checked out. They asked the question, who will form the government? Now, before in 2020 when they did it, BJP got 19% and AAP got 70%. Now BJP rose to 37, almost double, and AAP crashed to 42%. Similarly, do you want a change in the government? 2020, 27% said yes, 44%, and now which has gone to 44%, then 70% said no, now down to 49%. So particularly interesting, just last two data points I want to give you. Particularly interesting, lower middle class before the budget, after the budget. Lower middle class before the budget, 37% favored BJP, 42% after the budget, 56% before the budget for AAP, and 48% after the budget. And a huge one, where you come to upper middle class, before and after the budget. Before the budget, BJP had a lead of 8%, which has risen to 21%. Now, when the constituency has 45% middle class voters, you can understand why I'm saying that we are coming back with a thumping majority.
Okay. Sanjay Jha, essentially what the BJP spokesperson then is saying is, budget ne kamal kar diya. That rejig in the tax structure, no tax for anyone who is earning 12 lakh rupees a year, that is what seems to have changed the game for the BJP in Delhi. We, of course, don't know what the numbers are going to be, and the final numbers we need to believe will only come on Saturday. But anyhow, we need to keep the discussion going.
Shreya, I'll make two observations. Number one, if indeed the budget which Mr. Modi and the BJP publicized in Delhi as the most middle-class friendly budget in history, if that truly was the campaign, which we all know it was, and the budget is announced on Feb 1 and Feb 5th is the election, then I think the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress should really go to the country at large and talk about how compromised the Election Commission is. And I say so with a lot of seriousness, actually, because it was the responsibility of the Election Commission to make sure that there were no announcements in the budget which would have an impact or influence on the elections. And I do think Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress Party should take that extremely seriously. But I will wait for Saturday. But the second point, I might spoil Mr. Tayal's mood a little bit. You know, there is this whole hypothesis, and a lot of analysts tend to make the mistake, that the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party have the similar vote bank. And that is very largely true, because the Congress vote bank migrated to the AAP in 2013, 15, and 20. But the Congress vote bank has already migrated. Thereafter, if you look at the last election to this election, my friend Tushar mentioned that the BJP increased its vote share by 6%. Now, what Tushar needs to note, and everybody needs to note, is that 5-6% is actually an old Congress supporter who, probably realizing the Congress isn't doing well, not happy with AAP either, moved to the BJP actually. Because BJP's vote share goes up by around 6%,
Achha.
and the Congress loses around 5%, and the Aam Aadmi Party is actually fairly stable. So if in this election, Shreya, even if, for example, Aam Aadmi Party's vote share dips to some extent, it actually may not make a significant difference to the outcome. Therefore, I'm going to believe at this point of time that the Congress may be a disruptor, may not be a significant disruptor, but I do think that the Aam Aadmi Party, as of today, based on my talking to people and whatever I have been reading in reports, probably will still be a front runner.
Dr. Rastogi, do you share Sanjay Jha's optimism as far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned? Because, of what we have seen in the last 3 weeks, the feisty fight, the fact that AAP didn't leave a single day where it didn't launch Mr. Kejriwal and Atishi into a press conference making some sort of allegation against the Congress Party or the BJP, that itself told us a story. It told us a story that is the Aam Aadmi Party being extra aggressive in this election because they fear something, because they fear they could be losing out to the BJP?
Shreya, Aam Aadmi Party has contested this election with lots of dignity and with great intentions because we want another term to continue some of the good policies and good government models that we have showcased. But we are pitched against a completely immoral party that has thrown every rule under the earth through the window. Like they have used election commission to their gain. They have been using CBI, Delhi police, ED, all kinds of media. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but there has been a bias. They have used every trick up their sleeve to tarnish Aam Aadmi Party, to make jibe at them, to make fun of them, to stick false narrative of Sheesh Mahal and Sharab Ghotala. These are all fictitious narratives that that Bharatiya Janata Party has stuck on us for the lack of anything substantive that they've done for Delhi. In fact, they have stalled so many of the Delhi projects that Delhi would have been 10 times better had Bharatiya Janata Party cooperated in the growth. Delhi contributes so much of revenue, yet Delhi gets this step-brotherly treatment. So I'm very sorry to say we are the new kid on the block, but we become smarter by the day, courtesy BJP's, chindi chori. They have all kinds of immoral practices. They will please the voters. They'll openly distribute cash. They will openly give full page ad on the day of election. I mean, what is going on? Why is Election Commission not listening? But
Dr.
after all
Rastogi,
this, it's the last laugh that's been done by Aam Aadmi Party. You see that we'll sweep away this election with great majority, and I have the full conviction to say that.
Okay, if that happens, best of luck to you. But Dr. Rastogi, here's the thing. The voter in Delhi is a very smart voter. वो साथ के साथ जो MP है बीजेपी के भेजता है, लेकिन बीजेपी को असेंबली में नहीं आने देता. Right? We know that. But this voter is also very sympathetic. So if this voter knows that you have been shortchanged by the election commission, that you have been, victimized by the BJP, that the entire administrative machinery and the police machinery has been used by the BJP to target Aam Aadmi Party leaders, वो तो सारा sympathy vote आप भी को मिल जाएगा फिर. The fact is that voter है सब देखता है. The voter in India is very smart, but Tushar wanted to respond to what you're saying, and on the, on the part of the BJP giving everything to voters. भाई शुरू तो आपने किया था freebie culture दिल्ली में. हाँ, Tushar.
Thank you for pointing that out. But to Madam Rastogi, the court pulled up the Aam Aadmi Party for delaying funds for a very important infrastructure project, which was the RRTS, the Delhi Merit Rapid Metro. So let's be very clear about which party is actually hindering the projects. And to Mr. Sanjay Jha, who I respect a lot, he made a very prominent point that yes, some of the BJP gain might be coming from the decline of the Congress. But Shreya, when I told you about those 43 seats, Mustafabad, one of the seats, BJP won it in 2015 because it was a three-way contest. BJP won it with a 35% vote share in 2015. 2015, Congress's vote share on that seat is 31%. By 2020, it reduces to 2.8 percentage. 2.8, that's it. Which party wins the seat in 2020? The Aam Aadmi Party. So when we say that when Congress loses vote, lock, stock, barrel, it mostly goes to the Aam Aadmi Party. So if today Congress stages a comeback, it will be at the cost of the Aam Aadmi Party, but the beneficiary will be the Bharatiya Janata Party. So Sanjay Jha, what do you want? The Aam Aadmi Party to win or the Congress to stage a comeback? Difficult question.
Wait, before he answers that, I need to go to Mumtaz Patel. Mumtaz, you're someone who is actually campaigned for the Congress party in the Delhi elections. Do you see this comeback? I mean, I don't think it is anyone's point that the Congress party will be in a position to form the government. But are you looking at a comeback? Matlab, duck or duck ke baad, anything is good, right?
No, like you said, for the first time in 15 years, Congress party ran the most aggressive campaign. I have been on the ground in the last 3 months between the Delhi Nyaya Yatra as well as campaigning. And you can see people warming up to the Congress again and wanting that change. That is the first thing. But between Aam Aadmi Party crying foul, like they are on this show also at the moment during the entire campaign and the last 10 years, and between BJP's perfect timing for optics, the budget on the first, and today Modi ji going to the Mahakumbh, and the election commission playing whatever role that it does, where does Congress party stand? But I can say that people have warmed up to the Congress. People are remembering the days of Congress Sheila Dikshit government, and just now, like how we discussed, that yes, Congress vote share is going to go up, and very interesting election, like Pradeep ji said. I mean, on one side, he's saying completely different voting patterns between class, occupation, income groups, religion. However, he says that it's not going to be a hung assembly. So we're also waiting with we're waiting on our edges to see what kind of numbers come out.
Mumtaz, before I let you go, Tushar and Sanjay Jha have a bit of a disagreement over whose vote the Congress is cutting. What is your analysis, since you are someone who's worked on the ground?
No, so Congress is going to increase its vote share. This is revival for us. We're not bothered about Aam Aadmi Party or BJP. This is struggle, strife, and revival for us.
Is it taking away the BJP's voter or the Aam Aadmi Party's voter?
It is bringing back the Congress voters, which is the most important thing, and that is what we are aiming for. Why should we sacrifice on the behest of anybody?
Okay, that is then at the cost of the Aam Aadmi
But
Party.
I have a question, and probably Sanjay Jha can help me with this, and I ask this with all sincerity. Why did not the Congress party fight the Delhi Lok Sabha elections alone? It was a golden opportunity for them to stage a comeback in a place where they had 7-0 in 2009. Why would they then go with the Aam Aadmi Party, lose all the 7 seats, and then today go outside the alliance? Either the Congress and Aam Aadmi Party should have fought together in 2024 and in 2025. That should have been the initial understanding. But to fight together in 2024 and then part ways in 2025, look, that helps the Aam Aadmi Party. They are desperate. They were willing to latch on to the Congress even in 2019. But why would Congress make that decision? If the eventual goal is to bring back the Congress voters, why not start in the Lok Sabha elections when your campaign is far stronger, as in hindsight it's proven?
Okay, we'll talk about that. But I do have to take a very quick break, ladies and gentlemen. The numbers should start coming in at about 6:30 p.m. That is when we are expecting GV's, I think, exit poll numbers to be out. So we'll go to that. Do stay with us. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 6:30 officially. The period begins when exit polls are supposed to come filtering in. Right now, we have nothing. Let's see who puts out their numbers first. I'm being told that it will be GVC who will be putting out his numbers first. So as we wait for those numbers, Mumtaz Patel, would you want to respond to the point that Tushar was raising before we went into a break? Bhai, what is this rishta between the Congress party and the Aam Aadmi Party? In 2024, you fight an election together. You lose very badly. The BJP wins all 7 seats in Delhi. And then in 2025, you have a very bitter, divorce where where Rahul Gandhi is accusing Arvind Kejriwal of building sheesh mahals.
Badalte rishte, as I say. Look, I was an advocate and champion of not doing the alliance with the Aam Aadmi Party even during the Lok Sabha. And I don't know if you recall, Bharuch, which is my constituency, my father's constituency. I mean, AAP bullied us in Gujarat and took over that seat in particular. I made enough noise about it. 2013 also, the alliance to form a government was a mistake, which the Congress party admits. And now, on the hindsight, Congress party agrees and admits that Lok Sabha alliance with Aam Aadmi Party definitely was a mistake, because I think keeping Delhi in mind, this 4-3 arrangement, hoping that, as the opposition, they can come together and beat the BJP. But unfortunately, it was Congress who lost out, and definitely had the Congress gone alone for Lok Sabha, the cadre would have been even more rejuvenated and ready for battle. So definitely a mistake, hopefully not to be repeated again.
अब देखते हैं, what if there is a hung assembly? Pradeep Gupta seems to be suggesting there will be no hung assembly, the numbers will be decisive, but what if they are not decisive? If push comes to shove, will the Congress join hands with the Aam Aadmi Party? That is a question that we'll wait. Never say never. Who knows?
I would personally say I hope not,
right.
but like you said, never say never. Rajniti hai.
Rajniti hai, and Rajniti se ab yaad aaya that the first numbers are out. My prediction was correct. JVC has put out his numbers. My God, the BJP, it seems, is getting a clean sweep. 39 to 45 seats is what JVC is giving them, which means it has the magic number. The magic number, of course, will be 36. 70 is the number of seats in the Delhi Assembly. 35 is the halfway mark, which means 36 is the majority. The Aam Aadmi Party, 22 to 31. The Congress, 0 to 2, which means maybe account Kholle Congress. And the others at 1. Let me get in the Aam Aadmi Party's spokesperson, Dr. Nimi Rastogi, to come in here. Dr. Nimi Rastogi, of course, this is just one exit poll, right? And this is the first exit poll, and we'll wait for 5-6 others to come in, before we put them together and before we see what the picture on the 8th could look like. Lekin ye pehle, since GVC had put it out, what is your reaction to the numbers on your screens?
My reaction is to hold my horses and wait for some more time. As I say that we have contested this election with best intentions and with the most hard work that we have put in. About the question of, AP and Congress. So N number of times AP, Aam Aadmi Party has been said it's the B party of BJP or B party of Congress or A team or something like that. But let me tell you, our politics is very, very transparent. We are here only for Kaam Ki Rajniti. We have no ulterior motives. We have no under the table deals. We are very fair and square. Just let us work, do our work and improve the lives of people. As far as the results are concerned,
Dr.
I'm still hopeful that we will make
एक minute. Matriz is putting out numbers as well, and PMARC is putting out numbers as well. The Matriz numbers seem to suggest the fight is neck to neck. 32 to 37 for the Aam Aadmi Party, for the BJP 35 to 40, which means even according to Matriz, the BJP may just be in a position to form the government in Delhi, according to Matriz. What about PMARC? 21 to 31 for the Aam Aadmi Party, for the BJP 39 to 49. So that is 3 exit poll numbers on our screens back to back, and all 3 seem to be suggesting that, for all you know,
possibly
on the 8th of February, the BJP may be in a position to form the government in Delhi. And if it does so, a 30-year jinx, ladies and gentlemen, will be broken. Just take a look at the numbers. PMARC is giving nothing for the Congress, is giving nothing for any other party. In any case, this was a triangular fight. The Aam Aadmi Party, as far as PMARC is concerned, 10 to 19, only 10 to 19. The BJP, 51 to 60. Oh my God! All right,
that's generous.
That is, yeah, wow. That's more than a clean sweep. That's a wave.
That's like a BJP clocking like a 48 to 50% vote share. I'm interested if these agencies are also giving out the vote share, because Shreya, let's remember, barring 1993, BJP has been trapped BJP has been caught in what I call a trap of 30. They haven't been able to exceed the 40% vote share in all these elections after 1993.
Correct.
So if the numbers are true on our screen, we'll also have a historic moment when the BJP actually crosses 40 and who knows, 45, 48% vote share in Delhi. But are these numbers possible? This is where I come back to my original point. 43 seats had more than 38% vote share in 2020. Has the Congress cut in? Has the anti-incumbency made that change? Has the anger against Sheesh Mahal, Yamuna and all those factors really kicked in? That's the big question.
But Sanjay Jha, the voting percentage will come out later. I'm sure they'll put it out. They'll only put out later. First, you put out the headline numbers, which are these numbers. Yeah, this is called a hook, right? This is a classic hook headline. Yes. But Sanjay Jha, here's the point. The BJP had won 8 seats last time. Look at the projections this time. It's pretty incredible if these numbers hold on February 8th.
Yeah. Shreya, first let me tell Tushar, the BJP doesn't have to get a 48% vote share to get an absolute majority. Go back to the election, I think in 2013, where they had around 33% vote share and 32 seats. So I can tell you that they don't need 48% vote share. Point number one, if these numbers hold, Shreya, then I can tell you the Congress's vote share is rising above or is definitely close to the double-digit numbers. And they are hurting up in those seats which have a lot of minority and Dalits. I can tell you, AAP has been very ambivalent when it has come to the Delhi riots. AAP was extremely obfuscatory when it came to the Shaheen Bagh protest on CAA. AAP was remarkably silent on Bilkis Banu. So AAP, if you notice, Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party retaliated on BJP's Hindutva by what a lot of people called as Hindutva light, but at great cost to probably the minorities who have supported them by believing that they were a better bet rather than the Congress to defeat the BJP. And even as far as the backwards are concerned, the backward caste, the Dalits, Rahul Gandhi and the Congress has championed in a genuine fashion for the backward
Mr.
caste.
Jha,
So I think that may hurt the Aam Aadmi Party.
Can I quickly just draw your attention and everyone's attention to the numbers on our screens? The first poll of polls is out. Of course, these numbers will change as as more and more exit poll numbers keep coming out. Just a minute. So there you have it. We have, if you just do a total, what is People's Pulse? People's Pulse is up 10 to 19, 51 to 60 for the BJP. So if you look at all the 4 exit polls on your screens, ladies and gentlemen, all 4 are giving the BJP not just the edge, but a thumping majority. Can I just get in? All right, Sanjay Jha, complete your point, then I'll go to Dr. Dharendra Tayal.
Yeah, so that is my basic point, that end of day, if these numbers hold, and I can tell you that while everyone has a right to be extremely cynical, dismissive, and even contemptuous about exit polls after what happened in June 2024, but I think we should be reasonable. I'm not going to doubt the integrity of every exit poll agency, but let's go by these numbers. Clearly, there is a direction here, and the direction seems to suggest that the BJP is a gainer. Aam Aadmi Party is probably being pushed backwards in this election, closer or below the 50% mark in terms of seats. And the Congress may be here a disruptor enough to damage the Aam Aadmi Party, while because its base is so low that even if the Congress were to double its vote share from 4.5% to 10%, it remains a very peripheral force. So I think Aam Aadmi Party will probably pay a price for the slight resurgence. I don't think it's a big resurgence, a modest resurgence of the Congress, and the BJP holding on to its core base and chipping away from those who have been tired with this Aam Aadmi Party for 10 years, and some who have begun to believe that the old favored anti-corruption party has probably lost its sheen.
Okay. For us to say that all of that conclusively, we'll need to have the vote share. Let's see when agencies put out the vote share. But we now have a poll of polls. The numbers are here. If you do the math, then the BJP will be at about 45, according to, if you collate all the data that has been put out by exit polls. So 45 for the BJP, which means a clear sweep, a clean sweep. the Aam Aadmi Party reduced to 25, from 62 to 25. And the BJP going up from 8 to 45. I mean, I don't even know what to call that. If it happens, the Congress, according to projections, if you just do the math again, zero may not end up opening its account. Well, the others don't count in any case. So is there a modest resurgence of the Congress party, or has there been nothing at all? We'll just wait for the vote share to come in. But can I just get in Dr. Dharendra Tayal? Dr. Dharendra Tayal, go ahead, please. I'm sure you're smiling, but I'd still want to be cautious, but the exit poll numbers are very clear on the screens.
Well, one should smile when one can, and these are good reasons to smile. So we are happy, and this is what I had said at the beginning of the session itself, that this is what we are expecting, and maybe even better than this. Of course, this is not coming so much as a surprise, but yes, it is very pleasant to see this in, from the agencies anyway. The two, three interesting points have been made. One is by Mumtaz, where she said it shouldn't have happened, we will never do it, that was a mistake last time. They tied up with Aam Aadmi Party last month in Chandigarh elections. So let them not say they are opportunists. Two of them will do anything to rob the people, whatever it be. So you are a Farziwal in Delhi, but you are my close ally in Chandigarh. So this has happened. So let them not say never again, that was a mistake, we shouldn't have done it, we would never do it. They've done it as recently as a few days back. So that is as far as they are concerned. Interestingly, I think, when Mr. Sanjay Jha spoke the first time, he said Dr. Tayal is likely to be not like what I am saying, but he is depending upon the disruption by Congress, which is not going to happen, so on and so forth. One, in my first statement, I had not mentioned anything about Congress disruption and their votes coming to us. But what I'm seeing is the fantastic gymnastics which Sanjay Jha has done, from the first session to the second. Suddenly now he has flipped, he's taken a backflip and said, look what Congress has done, and this is the Congress which is hitting Aam Aadmi Party hard, and that is what has caused all this disruption for the Aam Aadmi Party. Going to what Nimmi said. Going to what Nimmi said, she said,
I was asking Mumtaz, when Mumtaz said never again will we ally with the Aam Aadmi Party, I was asking her what if there's a hung assembly. But it seems that the Congress Party, at least as far as the exit poll numbers are concerned, and the fresh poll of poll numbers are on your screens, ladies and gentlemen, because we have Chanakya's numbers in as well. Chanakya again predicting pretty much a clean sweep for the BJP, 39 to 44. They seem to be giving the Aam Aadmi Party slightly better numbers than JVC and PMark, 25 to 28. But ladies and gentlemen, from 68 to 28 is a massive, massive setback for the Aam Aadmi Party if these numbers stand. I continue to qualify everything I'm saying by saying if these numbers stand on February 8th. But for the moment, the numbers 28 for the Aam Aadmi Party, 28 out of 70, 42 out of 70 for the BJP. My point is, I think the good doctor from the Aam Aadmi Party, Dr. Rastogi, wanted to say something. But Tushar, can I very quickly, Dr. Rastogi, give me a minute here.
Yes.
If these numbers stand, my question to you is, hua kya? Matlab 68 से 28 आना is a pretty big setback. My point is, did the Aam Aadmi Party mess up big time? By the looks of it, no. They have promised everything they have been promising for the last 10 years. Correct. Most people you speak to say their governance has been good, their MLAs are very reactive, you go to them, they will respond to you almost immediately. Kaam acha karte hain, their communication skills are great. What changed?
2 points. Sanjay Jha made a very important point about the 2013 elections in which BJP had to get a 30% odd vote share to get the majority. But at that time, the Congress also secured a 24% vote share with 8 seats. Is the Congress today in a position to secure 24% vote share? The numbers do not suggest that. What happened? Shreya, if these numbers even are remotely true, Aam Aadmi Party's vote share has dropped by 14 to 15 percentage point. That's a huge, huge drop. And the BJP has gone up by at least 10 percentage points. So clearly, somewhere the double engine model is clicking with the voters. What happened in Haryana is resonating with the voters because Haryana, Delhi, they share a border and all that. But something has gone terribly wrong. Is it the Sheesh Mahal? Is it the corruption? Because we saw in the Lok Sabha elections also, there was no sympathy for Arvind Kejriwal. And that is why we need to wait for the vote share to understand what has really happened. But if these numbers are true, something terrible has happened for the Aam Aadmi Party on the ground. What it is, we really don't know.
But as far as Lok Sabha elections are concerned, there is never any sympathy for the Aam Aadmi Party or the Congress Party.
But this time there was an exception. Two exceptions rather. Arvind Kejriwal was given an exceptional bail to just come out and campaign. And Aam Aadmi Party had the support of the Congress. There were two very strong factors backing the Aam Aadmi Party. And mind you, Shreya, in some Lok Sabha constituencies, BJP's vote share actually dipped this time compared to 2019. So clearly both the parties together were putting up a fight, but they couldn't, really make it out in numbers. But what's happening right now is clearly we're getting a Madhya Pradesh-like verdict where the BJP might end up with the 48% vote share, Aam Aadmi Party is somewhere between 35% and 40%, and the Congress may have really not made a comeback. It might still be in single digits.
Dr. Nimir Rastogi, you wanted to say something. Please come in. I understand that these numbers are just exit poll numbers. The voters have spoken. What they have said is something that will be loud and clear only on February 8th. But Dr. Nimir Rastogi, if all exit polls are coming up with pretty much the same trend and pretty much the same numbers where they are giving the BJP a clean sweep, does this worry you? Do the numbers on your screens worry you?
Shreya, as you said that, to say that things have gone horribly wrong for Aam Aadmi Party will be speaking too soon and speaking prematurely. But Aam Aadmi Party in 2015 and 2013 and 20 has set such high benchmark for itself that anything lower than that is obviously a come down. I concede to that. And the BJP had set such lower standard for themselves that anything above 6 to 8 seats is a big improvement. So you can see, these semantics don't really add up. Another thing is that we have fought the election with dignity and we will remain dignified in reacting to the aftermath of the elections, whether by way of conjectures or the actual results. We believe in karma. Kaam ki rajniti is the only thing that we've done, and we don't want to be distracted by all these maligning things, etc. So I think we are the one who have set a new trend in politics wherein we only concentrate on work and don't want to dilute our thing in rhetoric or in, abusing people, making jibes and unnecessary wastage of time of people. So I have a very high esteem as a worker of Aam Aadmi Party, and I still hope that we will make a clean sweep.
Dr. Rastogi, with all due respect, we all know that the last thing the Delhi election was dignified. Itna name calling hua hai na, Dr. Nimir Rastogi, every day in press conferences, that the one thing you cannot call this election is dignified. It was a feisty election. Voters ko maza aaya, especially TV audiences ko और TV channels ko to bahut maza aaya in this election. But Mr. Tayal, you want to come in? Dr. Tayal, and then I'll get in Sanjay Jha. Go ahead, please.
It's the taste of their own medicine. We are not dumb people not to reply to their false narratives. We will only be reacting, not creating a ruckus out of nothing.
Yamuna genocide kya tha fir? What was Yamuna, the mass genocide, that allegation? That was a really new law in Indian politics. I mean, states have fought on river waters, but never has one state accused the other of mass genocide. I think that was a very disappointing moment in the Delhi elections, Shreya.
Was it a mistake, Dr. Rastogi? Because, even the Aam Aadmi in this city saw through what was being said. I mean, it's one thing to say that the Yamuna water is very dangerous, you cannot drink it, it is super polluted, ammonia se bhara hua hai. It's one thing to say that. If that was said, everyone would have accepted it. But what was the allegation? The allegation was that the BJP deliberately, as part of a conspiracy to win the election, is actually poisoning the water of Yamuna that it sends to Delhi and that Delhi drinks. No one believed that, Dr. Rastogi. Not even your closest supporters, I'm sure.
No, by the act of omission of not cleaning the water before sending it to Delhi and ammonia level being so high, the whistleblower like Aam Aadmi Party got the results when within 24 to 48 hours, the ammonia level came from 8.2 to 2.3. So what will you say to that? I mean, there was something fishy. Chor ki daadi mein tinka tha. That is why the whole thing got corrected. We call spade a spade, and then people say that we bring up conspiracy theory. Then prove us wrong. How was the ammonia level? I mean, it got reduced drastically within 48 hours.
You accused a neighboring state of trying to orchestrate a genocide to win an election, Dr. Rastogi. Who will believe it? Go ahead.
So, 8 parts
the pollutants during these months in the Yamuna always increase. Ma'am.
They do, Tushar, but not to such a level.
In the long run, 8 ppm is a very high poisonous ammonia level. And that was what the fact was. It got corrected just because we
Ma'am, in all fairness, was there any lab test done to sort of document what poison was this? How poisonous was it made in the lab? Any testing done? Because Delhi has world-class infrastructure. So ये चीज तो सामने आनी चाहिए. BJP और आप whoever wins the election, that's irrelevant. But अगर आपको कोई इतना जहरीला पदार्थ दिख रहा है कि नदी में डाला गया है हरियाणा की तरफ से, उसका तो लैब टेस्ट उठा के डॉक्यूमेंटेशन करके उसको पब्लिक करना चाहिए. वो क्यों नहीं हुआ अगले ही दिन?
I'm so glad you asked this. I'm so glad you asked this. Every hour in different location, in 42 different locations, the ammonia levels are checked on a regular basis. When it increases above 2.5, the STP stop working. So it was brought to our notice when STP stopped working because of the huge deluge of ammonia coming into Delhi water. What else do you infer? What else do you do that? I mean, we can't push through that.
If these numbers hold, Dr. Rastogi, if these numbers hold, the numbers that are on our screens and that are giving the BJP a clean sweep in Delhi, then the Yamuna and its water and its pollution will be the headache of the BJP. And I hope the Aam Aadmi Party will keep the pressure on the BJP because that is what good opposition parties are supposed to do. I'm not saying you'll be sitting in the opposition. Who knows? Who knows? You know, maybe these exit polls have again got it horribly wrong. They have got it horribly wrong in Haryana as well, where they had projected a clean sweep, a massive victory for the Congress party, and the BJP ended up winning the elections. But for the moment, ladies and gentlemen, the numbers on your screens are clear. Delhi has finished voting. It was a high-octane campaign, and it seems, by the looks of it, as far as the numbers of the exit polls coming in are concerned, that the BJP, after 30 years, has broken its Delhi jinx. These numbers on your screens. I'm slipping into a quick break. We'll be back with more. Do stay with us.